At the beginning of 2010, Element 14, a new brand in the world of electronics procurement, came to Silverfox with one simple mission: tell the world we've arrived. Cool, we thought, because despite being completely unknown and in a category dominated by a few big names, Element 14 genuinely offered something new: the world's first online community and store purpose-built for electronics design engineers. And importantly to us, our clients were prepared to play by the rules of culture to compete. So, faster than you can say programmable oscillators, we got to work. And it wasn't long before we realized that beyond the industry's dusty catalogs and lab coats, there exists a vibrant electronic subculture, and most interestingly, a burgeoning seed called modding, where a few protagonists were using their know-how to modify Xboxes, PlayStations, and all kinds of cool gadgets. Among them, hailing from the town of Madison, Wisconsin, was one particularly lively specimen, a Mr. Benjamin J. Heckendorn, also known as Ben Heck. But wait, let's back up a second. Before we even discovered Ben and modding, we'd taken note of the maturing phenomenon of online TV, and especially the great work of fellow San Franciscan new media pioneers Revision 3. Their expanding catalog of cool shows about geek and gadget pop culture were consistently enjoying cable-like audiences, and proving that online TV was here to stay. As with so many things in culture today, nerds were leading the way. To us, the answer was clear, and several months of planning, negotiating, and head-scratching later, The Ben Heck Show was born. A bi-weekly online TV series starring the amazing Ben Heck and his friends as they take on a host of community-suggested builds, all produced in partnership with Revision 3. But enough talk, over to the man himself.
Hello and welcome to the all-new Ben Heck Show, where we build cool projects based off community suggestions. I'm your host, Benjamin J. Heckendorn. In each episode of the show, we're going to take a viewer request and then build it. This will be known as the Viewer Challenge. We'll also be doing larger projects along the way that can't be finished in the course of a single episode. These will be called the Big Builds, and we'll cover those as we go along. In this episode, we're going to try and build a super fast can cooler. My intention is to modify a laptop in such a way that the screen can be positioned above the keyboard, allowing you a great view and comfortable typing.
Hey, I was thinking, you should do a see-through Portal shirt based off the classic game, also called Portal. You know, the one with the cake that lies?
Heckendorn! Don't stop programming!
We're here in a suburb of Milwaukee. It's really important to be safe. Last year, over 3 million people went to Summerfest and they all got drunk.
Oh man! Oh, that particulate set off the fire alarm.
If you've got an idea you'd like to see built, why not send it to the Ben Heck Show?
So, where did Element 14 fit into all of this? Well, as the sole underwriters of the show, they deservedly enjoyed a whole lot of positive exposure. From a range of exclusive sponsorship messages built into the show, to what we might call product placement with purpose, where Element 14 made detailed information and component kits from each build available on their site. In terms of results, the Ben Heck Show was an immediate hit. After just 9 episodes, it had surpassed 1 million views and was achieving over 120,000 unique and full views. That's of the full 15-minute show for every episode. And after just 3 months, it had challenged long-standing shows like Dignation for the top spot in Revision 3's entire lineup. As a result, it received a ton of social media and press buzz and was featured in some of the most influential tech publications like Popular Mechanics, Wired, and Game Informer, all of which equated to around $500,000 worth of unpaid media exposure. For Element 14, this translated into a swift and dramatic change in brand awareness, and for the first time ever, they surpassed all of their competitors in social media mentions. The show can also take credit for being by far the biggest driver of traffic and new member registrations at element14.com, and it frequently accounted for more page views than even their own homepage. So when we combine that with the fact that ads featuring Element 14 and the Ben Heck Show drove 5 times more registrations than branded ads alone, and the fact that it was routinely the most discussed topic in their community, plus that Ben had become their go-to guest speaker at all marquee events, well, we realized we'd created the most powerful brand asset in the company's and arguably the category's history. Ultimately, with just a little courage to step outside the predictable models of marketing, culture had won big time for Element 14.